Welcome back to our Bible study. We're coming to the end of Job, and today I'll be sharing lessons from Job 38 to 39. Did you read it? How did it make you feel? Let me tell you my experience. So, God finally answers Job and challenges him. Reading these chapters made me feel very nervous at first. It actually reminded me of times when I was younger and maybe I'll do something and my mom will call me to ask me, about it. And then I'll feel like I need to pee. And maybe sometimes I did when I was younger. That's how I feel. I could only imagine how Job felt, God saying, right, you've been talking since, come now, let's come and answer me. I was like, oh my God, I wonder what Job was doing while God was talking. As I read the majestic and mysterious things that the Lord did and does, which is posed as questions to Job, I reflect on some of the similar questions I've asked myself while observing nature. Some of the examples God gave, like, oh, do you know where the storehouses of snow are? Do you know how the rains? And I was like, wow. I mean, recently I was on a trip to Jordan and spent some time in the Wadi Rum desert. And I remember sitting there and just looking at this vast expanse of sand, like beautiful coral colored sand, and the rocks. Like the rock formation there was like nothing I'd ever seen before. And I was like, wow, how did God create? Like, what was this? I mean, the tour guide told us that once upon a time, the desert was actually under the sea. And then the sea dried up, and I was like, and all these things were like, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, no, God is truly very awesome. I also considered the answers to that science had provided for some of these phenomena, and I had to consciously disabuse my mind of them and attribute them to the one and only glorious God, the creator of the universe. I mean, that was just what I was saying. Science says, oh, the rocks were formed from this, or when you see different things, different phenomena, they tell you how rain is precipitation that comes from the ground and condenses to the blah blah blah. But God told you that. Ask Job, do you know where the storehouses of rain are? So at the end of the day, I think what I've had to do as I grew up is disabuse my mind of the things because there's some things that are just trained in your mind because that's what you were taught. And then getting to know God, you know that, yeah, actually, that's not true. And when you think about it, it really doesn't make any sense. Reading these chapters, I was glad that God finally responded to Job. The fact that he stepped, as far as I'm concerned, as far as he stepped in, as far as I'm concerned, marked the end of the situation. Even though Job had some things to answer for, God finally spoke. And now things are about to change. Now, that was my take out from it. Like, all these chapters, for almost 37 chapters, Job had been talking and, going on about his situation. And now God steps in. And now that God has stepped in, I believe now whatever needs to be sorted out is sorted out. But guess what? The situation is about to change. And I think about that in our lives when we go through things and seeming desert seasons. Once God steps in, things are changing, period. No argument. Now let's get to my hashtag getting to know God moment. And I said, in spite of how it may first have appeared, God wasn't angry at Job for questioning him. While he didn't exactly answer to the specific questions, he responded to him by reminding Job about who he is. A relationship with God can include questions from us to him, but certainly not in a disrespectful or an arrogant way or in rebellion. We should always approach God with reverence, even when we have questions. And the times when we have questions, may we be reminded of his great love and power that he shows us, and let us also know that in him we have all that we need. How did God's response to Job come across to you? This is how it came across to me in a nutshell. God sees everything. He'll let you have your moments, and then he'll step in, correct you, change the situation around for your good. Tomorrow we'll be getting to the end of Job, and then we'll be talking about how the situation really changed. Now God has just responded. I can't wait to wrap this up for you tomorrow. So we'll catch up again where we'll discuss the end of Job. That's the last chapters 40 to 42. And I look forward to seeing you then. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.